So obviously we got drones coming up out of the ocean in the United States, and perhaps these same drones are surfacing all over the world. My thoughts on this, my brother called me last week and asked me what do I think about the aliens coming up out of the ocean. And I thought at the time, I didn't know what the heck he was talking about. And I thought, who cares, man? That's above my pay grade to be worried about aliens and what's going on in the ocean. I'm just trying to survive here on land as a man. And today, probably a week and a half later, I now know what he's talking about. I've been watching the news and I see all of the drones coming up out of the ocean. I understand my place in the world. I welcome all life forms, including aliens. In fact, the one reason I couldn't pass up the opportunity to make this video is because I personally feel like it's always been a weird assumption to me that people would assume that if we were ever encountered by aliens, that they would automatically be a threat. I guess what I'm saying is, could it possibly be, folks, that if we were presented an opportunity to meet some alien life form, could it be possible that they would come with no intention to hurt anybody? Anybody ever thought about that? Are we just automatically postured to fear whatever we don't know and don't understand? I guess that's a rhetorical question, because we know the answer to the question is we are, in fact, probably taught to fear what we don't understand. And for that matter, I think that I'll go out on a limb and say that probably makes us inferior to aliens, if there are any, because with all that we have and our greatest power being God, we are taught to fear what we don't understand, or we're at least influenced to fear what we don't understand and what we don't know. And if there's any fear, it's not because you don't know the aliens or you don't know what the outcome will be. If there's any fear, it's because you don't know God. But the thing is, we don't know our relationship and our place in relationship to God, or in relation to God. As men, being the firstborn on earth of God, our relationship should be ironclad with God. And I think the world has suffered because we don't have an ironclad relationship with God. And I'm not talking about the churchy version. I'm not talking about the divisive religious form of theology that so many people have allowed to replace the relationship with God that they should have. I'm talking about direct hand-in-hand relationship between God and man. And when you truly turn your life over to God, and I'm again not talking about going to the altar, not talking about kneeling at the pew. I'm talking about having a silent relationship with the Most High, where you wait on the Most High, you trust in the Most High, you listen to the Most High, you're defended by the Most High, you're taught by the Most High, you're provided for by the Most High, like you would how a son. Just imagine a son, even a daughter, because we'll get to that, because I know this channel is going to be about the totality of life. And I named the channel Out of the Box, and I think that's the perfect name, because now I've come to the realization that my thinking is really out of the box. And so I'm going to share my thoughts on this channel. But back to the point, when you think about, a son walking around with his father and how proud and comfortable and safe he feels with his father, and how he doesn't have to know where we're going. He doesn't have to know where they're going. He doesn't have to know how much money it costs. He doesn't have to know who else is gonna, show up. He knows that with his father, he's safe. And he looks forward to what his father is gonna do for him. And what his father knows that he doesn't know. What his father is gonna teach him. Where his father is gonna take him. Man has the opportunity to share that relationship with God. And only man has that opportunity. There's steps to God. So when you think about what we're dealing with today, supposedly some alien life form possibly snooping around the planet, which could only be at the very most another creation of the Most High. So, let's say it is some alien, some alien life form. Wouldn't that make us like cousins or something? Or maybe brothers? I don't know. I mean, there are other gods out there, but there's only one Most High, which is why I specify. One thing I've learned is the more I learn, the less I know, and you may not truly know until you know that you don't know, So anyway, so I'm excited to hear that, there is something that we don't understand here that's shaking up our faith and giving us a wake-up call to know that we don't truly know ourselves. Mostly, we don't know ourselves, and therefore we don't know where we come from, and we don't know who we come from. And so we get caught up into being afraid because we're trying to provide for ourselves, which is a scary thought in itself. No wonder we're afraid of every little thing that happens, because you think about it. You're in a world, a universe that you didn't provide, you didn't create. It's taken infinite lifetimes to even learn what we know thus far. And it's obvious, as soon as some drones come up out the ocean, we realize we don't know enough, and that there's possibly something out there that we don't know. When the interesting thing about that is, men, fellas, your God knows everything. Your Father knows everything, And so you don't have to know. You're just walking through the park with your dad, You don't have to know who's there if you're holding on. If you're following your dad. If you gotten lost in the park and you've wandered off on your own, you just may get abducted. You just may. Who knows? But, our Father that's in heaven, and the kingdom of heaven, so says the Messiah, is within. And if the kingdom of heaven is within, and our Father which art in heaven is therefore within, what is there to worry about? How can you go wrong? What can aliens do? What can other countries do? What can a nuclear bomb do? Nothing. Nothing. What happens? The body is built with a mechanism to shut down if things get too bad. And you are still with your father. And women, if you're holding tight to your man, you're in good. And children, if you're loving and listening to your mother, and she's loving and listening to your father, and our Father that art in heaven is guiding us all, then I don't see the problem. I don't see the problem. I don't see nothing the aliens can do. I don't see nothing the Chinese can do besides get in line. And you know, the interesting thing about the Father, he's the Father of all man and really all things. He was nice enough to give us woman and give women children, you know. He's really the Father of all things, but he gave us the opportunity to experience being like him. I don't think y'all ready for this conversation. So I'm not going to tarry. I'm not going to keep going. I'm just going to say, if you feel like you got any value out of this video, hit the like button. We would love to have you as a subscriber if you want to hear more out of the box content, you know, that's going to lead you closer to the true reality and free you from the bondage of illusion. Then join us again.